Markus, could you briefly introduce yourself to our audience? Who are you, what is your job, and what do you especially like about it?
My name is Markus Brenninger. I am Managing Director for Epsilon Timber and Recycling Cranes. That's the product line. I'm responsible for Head of Sales EMEA, Europe, Middle East, Africa. And what I like most on my job, of course, is being in contact with customers, being in contact with the market, and on the other side also having a product which is extremely exciting, which is very innovative, and being in this link between the factory here, the company producing the goods, and on the other side the markets and the people. This makes it really exciting, and this is what I like most on my job.
What is customer proximity?
Under customer proximity, actually we understand to be close to the customers. So this is for us the mean distance from the company to the customers, to the marketplace. And our goal is, of course, to be very close to the customers, to really understand the market needs. And in normal times, of course, we try to be really a lot out in the markets, very close to our customers, to the truck drivers and to the operators, to really understand the customers' demand. And this is what we understand actually at customer proximity.
How do you get there?
Normally, we try to be very close to the customers. We also measure this in terms of market presence, how much of the time is the sales force out there in the markets. And if I'm talking about customers, then I mean really the truck drivers, the operators, not only our dealers and distributors. And therefore, this is very important to be close. And at the moment, in these very special times of COVID-19, of course, we need to reorganize ourselves. And therefore, we cannot really travel all over our markets in Europe, mainly here, but also over worldwide. And therefore, we are organizing very well-structured strategy calls with our dealers and with our partners. And we also have a second channel, which is actually social media, where we try to get also very close to the drivers and to the operators. And therefore, we have a Facebook group, a direct Facebook group. And on this Facebook group, we have regular exchange within the group from the drivers and also from the end users. And we are also interacting here with our sales force. We are also in direct contact with the operators, and this gives us a very good chance to be in contact with the customers. And on the other side, we also have a direct contact to lead users. So we have customers actually who are testing our newest products, our newest innovations. And they are experts, of course, in the field, and they are giving us also their feedback, their experience from the market, and this feedback comes directly back into the product development. And therefore, these are channels at the moment which we are using to get there.
What role does trust play?
Trust is a very important part in a business relationship. But I think also in a private situation, trust is extremely important. It's the basis of the communication and the basis of the partnership. At the moment, very difficult, of course, because we cannot see each other. We cannot be in direct contact with our dealers and partners and also the end customers. But therefore, we say challenge accepted. Also, our employees get quite some trust. For example, we have young people in our sales team, and they get already quite some experience. They are out there in the markets, and they bring the know-how from the market back to the company. And therefore, I would say trust plays an extremely important role.
What role does regular communication play?
Regular communication is extremely important. I mentioned this already before. We have established new processes in the communication now in this challenging period of time. We have more calls, more structured calls, which we are using to be constantly in contact with our partners and our dealers, because the situation can change very fast, and then it's also important to react very fast with quick decisions, and this is only possible if we are in regular communication with our markets out there.
What role does openness play?
Yeah, I would say openness is a very similar topic as also trust. It's very important to be in a dialogue with our customers and with our partners, and to define together goals, and to overcome this difficult situation. So openness is definitely a very important topic at the moment.
Which challenges did you have to overcome?
In this period of time, things are changing extremely fast. So from one day to the next, or from one week to the other, things can be totally different. We have very volatile markets. And also, I have to mention that in the last years, we had quite an increase in sales and also in production, of course. For example, in our product line, we had in the last 2 years an increase in sales of 40%. And also our organization was growing quite a lot in the last 5 years. Our company here, we doubled the people in the company, and therefore these are all challenges we have to overcome. But these are good challenges, positive challenges, and we try to get the best out of it, of course. Also important to mention is the digitalization. Here we are talking about completely new product segments, and therefore it's also a challenge to find, of course, the experts, to find the people for R&D. We need to establish a completely new department, and also the timeline for developing completely new products, of course, is quite different to the standard R&D process. Furthermore, also the internationalization is an important part. We have, in the meantime, developed products for all the different continents. So, for example, we also developed products for North America, which are completely different than to Europe, or also for Korea. We have developed completely new products.
And which challenges did your customers face?
Yeah, our customers, they have completely different challenges, and this is very important that we know their challenges, because just if we know the challenges from our customers, we can support them to overcome this situation. And therefore the biggest challenges for our customers are the lack of qualified operators, of drivers. This is a huge topic. Also very high costs and low prices for the material what they are transporting. For example, timber in our case is on a very low level due to different circumstances. For example, the bark beetle, which is a huge topic, or also trees which are in the forest laying down because of storms, and all this is coming from the climate change. So climate change is also a huge topic here. And another topic are also regulations of weight. So these are the main challenges for our customers.
How do you solve these challenges together with the customer?
Good question. Of course, this is one of the most important topic for us to solve these challenges. Regarding the lack of qualified operators, the comfort and the safety is extremely important for the customers and for the operators, and therefore we have special products developed over the years, like our Master Drive is a very comfortable seat position, which increases also the safety. And we are developing a lot into the digital products into the future. So we will come in the future with new products, for example, with a smart control or with a virtual drive. So these are products which are much easier to use, and it's also much more exciting to use these new digital products. And therefore, we expect that this will really support our customers getting qualified operators. On the other side, regarding the price of the material, regarding the timber price, for example, the increase of productivity, of course, is extremely important. So the more loads per day, the more money for our customers, and therefore speed, precision of operation, and the reach of the products is extremely important. And here we are developing constantly new products, and here we also benchmark on the market. Regarding the regulations of the weight, which is very important nowadays, of course the payload, the reduction of the crane weight due to high-end product development processes is very important. We have an internal rule. When we're developing new products, they should be always lighter, faster and stronger. So every product development must either reduce the number of resources used or increase the product sufficiency. So this is most important in the product development, and therefore, of course, good for the environment and also for the sustainability. Finally, regarding the environment, we can also mention that almost 90% of the material which is used for our products are made in EU, so in Europe, and I think this is also quite a benchmark in the market.